So in the blink of an eye, Brian Heaton, in the blink of an eye, the stage is yours. Off you go.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and very welcome guests. We are living in a succession of absurdities imposed by the myopic logic of short-term thinking. Those are the words of Jacques Cousteau, the 20th century oceanographer. In the blink of an eye is an English idiom meaning very quickly in a very short period of time. When we look up at night, the universe seems pretty quiet, but that's an illusion. In reality, there are millions of world-shattering events happening every instant across the cosmos. In the fraction of a second it takes to blink your eyes, 300 stars will explode and die, and 15 million planets will form. Yes, 15 million new planets will form in the blink of an eye. Yet how short-sighted is most of the narrative from politicians, opinion formers, and media. The focus is typically for a day or two, or at most 4 to 5 years until the next election. Yet today we see a host of challenges which can only be overcome over substantial periods of time with great resources, from pandemics to a worldwide energy crisis, to invasion and war in Europe, and to a climate emergency. And I suggest it would be useful to adopt 3 timeframes for public narrative on the most serious issues: 50 years, 200 years, and 10,000 years. And I'll examine each of those 3 briefly. 50 years. Take North Sea oil. That oil took 3 million years to develop. In 50 years, more than half of the North Sea oil reserves have been extracted, according to official sources in both Norway and the UK. It's gone in the blink of an eye. Norway created an investment fund. They've invested that money, and now they're one of the richest countries in the world with a great deal to deal with future issues. The UK spent a lot. Take European NATO countries, which have long underspent on defense. Germany was once feared for its ruthless military efficiency, but it's become a military joke. In 2014, a German battalion on a NATO exercise was forced to use a black-painted broomstick to simulate a machine gun because they didn't have a real one. Most of its air force can't fly. In 2017, all 53 of its Tiger helicopters were grounded due to technical faults. Now, suddenly, we are faced with an aggressive Russian invasion intended to roll back NATO. Germany has suddenly announced 100 billion euros to rebuild its defenses, which will take many years. But Russia has become a monstrous threat to Europe in the blink of an eye. I suggest that a 50-year planning cycle will be appropriate for military, energy, and many other big infrastructure issues and system issues. 200 years. In 1976, I read a book called The Next 200 Years, a scenario for America and the world. And it's written by a most impressive man, the futurologist Herman Kahn, and his team at the Hudson Institute in the USA. And this work explored whether technological and economic growth tends to destroy mankind or to improve prospects for peace and prosperity. Now, the prophets of doom at that time said that the population explosion and economic growth could prove catastrophic within a century. Mr. Khan and his associates didn't agree. The Earth could support a population 5 times its then size, and the authors were big believers in a technological fix for everything. Now, in reality, we can see, looking back, that they were wrong, but that is not the point. The point is that they examine serious issues in terms of scenarios, possibilities over the next 50 to 200 years. Third, 10,000 years. That is roughly the time we've had human civilization. The Long Now Foundation is an American non-profit organization based in San Francisco that seeks to provide a counterpoint to what it views as today's faster and cheaper mindset, and instead to promote slower and better thinking. The Long Now Foundation hopes to, and I quote, creatively foster responsibility in the framework of the next 10,000 years. Now, the point of the excellent Long Now debates is not win-lose, like much of day-to-day politics. The point is public clarity and deep understanding, leading to action that's graced with nuance and built-in adaptivity with long-term responsibility in mind. So in conclusion, what can be done? I fervently believe that we should adopt a common time framework for the narrative of politicians, opinion formers, and serious media to view the impact of key issues over 3 timescales: 50 years, 200 years, and 10,000 years. The future is what we make it. Think next time you blink. Mr. Toastmaster.
I certainly shall think before I blink next time, Brian. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Timer, can you give me a red light in 45 seconds? Would you please now, Brian Heaton will almost certainly give this speech again to a different group of people in a different place at a different time, and he would like to give it even better than he gave it today. So I ask you, please, would you send him a suggestion on what he could do to get his message across more effectively next time? One specific point. I know Brian would appreciate this very much. He's a fervent believer in self-improvement. I bear witness to that. So a specific suggestion to Brian. While you're doing that, I'd just like on everybody's behalf to say a big welcome to Bilikisu Belgore, and I'd like to big welcome to Reebok too as well. Thank you ever so much for joining us. It's great to have you with us in the club today. Thank you, distinguished timer. Thank you very much. Superb job there. And thank you very much for putting the times in the chat. The speakers will really appreciate that. Getting immediate information is what helps everybody. Thank you so much. Now, from time to time, this club has the great excitement of being able to welcome a speaker to the club who isn't a member. This is one of the great things about Firebirds Collective, that it is open and welcoming for people who come to our meetings who reach a point where they fervently want to communicate something, practice it for perhaps audiences that they have in other clubs that they are a member of. Now, Malcolm Wilson after reading his high performance leadership manual in the effective coaching path, level 5 this is now, he felt inspired to resolve one of the biggest problems in the Toastmasters world. To resolve one of the biggest problems in the Toastmasters world. The purpose of his project, and he's going to speak about his plans for his project. The purpose of his project is to apply his leadership and his planning knowledge to develop a project plan, organize a guidance committee, and for all I know, he may invite somebody in this room to join his guidance committee. We will find out, or you will find out. Organize a guidance committee and implement the plan with the help of a team. And the purpose of his speech today is to introduce his plan and his vision to us. Now, I'm sure you're very curious if I tell you that Malcolm Wilson has visited this club many times. Many of you know Malcolm. You're all thrilled that he's decided to take the plunge and give a speech that I'm sure will have a certain amount of fervor in it because it's a big project. Malcolm Wilson, welcome to Firebirds Collective. And the title of Malcolm's speech is Imagine with Me. So, distinguished Toastmaster Malcolm Wilson, imagine with me, Malcolm Wilson. Now, Malcolm Wilson comes to the club with a disability, and we welcome people with disabilities to the club. Sometimes he's unable to be heard. But let's start again. Imagine with me, Malcolm Wilson.
Isn't Toastmasters the best organization ever? Where else can you find the opportunity to develop your communication skills, your leadership skills, and to choose to work from a variety of 11 pathways curriculum with over 300 skills to master? Oh wait, there's more. You're assigned an experienced mentor to guide you throughout your educational journey. You can learn at your own pace, and you can practice in a safe environment while receiving constructive feedback as you go. All for the price of about 1 cup of your favorite coffee from the Starbucks. Toastmaster of the meeting, my fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. Isn't Toastmasters the best organization ever? However, we do have one huge problem. And it's a huge problem not just in our district, it's a huge problem all around the Toastmasters globe. Membership acquisition and membership retention. Does that sound familiar? You see, if we do not invite guests in a way that they will show up and participate fervently in a club meeting, they will never ever get to experience any of the benefits I just shared with you. And have you noticed that once a guest signs up and become a member, after time, their enthusiasm and active participation drops? However, I have breaking news. I have a plan. So there's hope. Not to save the world, but at least to rejuvenate those master clubs that are coping with that huge problem: membership acquisition and membership retention challenges. And more importantly, I have a plan to ensure that both guests and members can experience all those benefits I shared with you at the beginning of my speech. Are you ready to hear my plan? I like your fervor. So here's where I'm going to use the title of my speech. Please close your eyes and imagine with me. Franca, both eyes. Thank you. So here's my vision. Our club meets the minimum requirement amount of active members, +5. Only 25 members, people. We're an advanced Toastmasters club. Each of our club meetings has at least 15 participants, members and guests combined. And our club meetings are educational, memorable, and irresistible. Are you seeing my vision? Please open your eyes. So how would we go about realizing that vision? Here's my plan. I'm going to apply my leadership and planning knowledge to further develop my project plan, detailing how to realize that compelling vision you just imagined. I'm also going to organize a guidance team to evaluate my progress, provide feedback, and guide me along my way. And I'm going to implement my plan with the help of a team consisting of, as our Toastmaster mentioned, members of this club. My role would be that of project leader. My focus, to inspire, guide, and empower the team. And that team, my high performance leadership team, that is the key. Because that team will carry out the vision, goals, and tasks. Now, our club meetings with enough members and guests that are educational, memorable, and irresistible. That is our goal. What would my high performance leadership team focus on while realizing that vision? Here's the strategy. We're going to focus on 3 strategic points. Our club identity. What does our club stand for? What are our values? Our club unique value proposition. Why should one attend our club meetings? What's in it for the members and guests? And our club educational meeting. When is the best day to meet? Is it today? And what about the fluctuating times? What about our content? Ladies and gentlemen, I shared with you my vision. Our club meetings with enough members and guests that are educational, memorable, and irresistible. I also shared my plan. Project leading a high-performance leadership team and being guided by a guidance team. You also heard about my strategy, focusing on club identity, our club value proposition, and our club educational meeting. Allow me to close with this question. Please answer with 2 thumbs up or 2 thumbs down. Do you think my plan would work for any club around the world coping with membership acquisition and membership retention challenges? Okay, I see many thumbs up. Oh, okay, thank you. And do you think that my plan will work for our club? It's settled then. I'm going to contact our VPM and we're going to put my plan into action. Toastmaster of the day.
Well, I have just been listening to Toastmasters royalty and I feel rejuvenated Thank you very much, Malcolm.